Hey everyone, this is Sam coming at you on day 47 of my solid food vacation, cold pressed juice feast. 47. Feels great. It's not been a challenge at all. I'm feeling amazing. I biked out here to the banks of the Anacostia River. It's midday, it's about 80 degrees, and the weather's awesome. There was a fish that just jumped over there. That was cool. I've just been loving taking in the sun. Find that I'm able to absorb tons of sun, and it really, it makes me feel awesome. It gives me a lot of vitality. It gives me a lot of energy, and I've been enjoying drinking of a variety of juices still. I've got this mono pineapple juice here that I brought out. I've been drinking a lot of mono juices like pineapple, watermelon, cantaloupe, and then my staples are still lemon ginger blast, which is green apple, lemon, ginger, turmeric, celery, cucumber, cilantro, parsley. And then my other staple is red apple, carrot, spinach, ginger, lemon. Sometimes I put some kale in that as well. And at the store today I bought some oranges and grapes. I think I'm going to juice some of those. And I also have been drinking from time to time like a savory kind of Bloody Mary V8 type drink where I put a lot of tomatoes, some garlic, also some parsley, habanero, and red peppers and orange peppers in there. So I'm looking forward to juicing some of those this weekend as well. Movements have been steady, 1 to 2 to sometimes more per day, but about 1 to 2 every day at least. And in fact, I did a colonic yesterday. The place near me is still open for those a few days a week, so I scheduled one of those, bought a coupon to do 2, did my first one yesterday. I had done one about a year ago, and I thought I'd try one as well during this juice feast, even though I haven't really had any problems doing any eliminating. And to be quite honest, the colonic was not revelatory in any way. I mean, I passed some mud, not too many solids, a lot of clear water, which actually was pretty much the case when I did it a year ago and maybe day 2 or 3 of one of my mini solid food vacations. But I recall when I did it a year ago, I felt so good like 2, 3, 4 days after that. Even though a year ago when I did it the first time, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything too spectacular, I felt much better several days later that I thought I'd want to try it again. And I think it's been fine. I don't think it's, as far as colonics are concerned, or even enemas. I know I've talked about doing coffee enemas, and I was doing those once or twice, sometimes 3 times per week. Those things are just tools in your toolbox to aid in elimination and aid in making sure you're eliminating through your colon. And there's something you can do if you want, if you like doing them. And I like doing the coffee enemas, and that might be because it's a sort of a psychological weaning from the espresso I used to drink every day. But I've been eliminating well, and if you find yourself eliminating well, maybe that's something you want to do or don't need to do. I think it's really up to you. if you're eliminating well, you probably you could be fine without them, but it's something I like to do, so I've been doing them. There's a lot of tools you can do to aid in elimination, from like skin brushing or colon massage, or doing deep breathing, getting sunshine. I do some of those things. I don't do all of them, and I think it's really up to you. When you're where you're at on this journey, it's what you want to do. But the colonic yesterday was it was fine. I'll do another one a month from now. I thought that there would be a chance that I might pass some really big things during the colonic, and that didn't happen. And what the things I've been passing, some of them have looked pretty old, some of them have been smelly. Nothing has stood out so much as to say it seemed like it's like mucoid plaque for certain. But that could come, and I'll see if it does come. I think there's still some stuff in there, and if that's the case, we'll see. But I'm definitely committed to doing this for the long term and going the distance, so to speak, so I can see. One thing I wanted to address while on this journey, I know that some people, fear that juicing or going on a solid food vacation or a juice feast can be very expensive. And I remember thinking this would be the case as well. But in reality, I haven't found that to be the case in practice. I mean, you definitely go through a lot of produce, and it requires going to the grocery store often or making big trips to the grocery store. In my case, I go maybe once every 2 or 3 days. But the cost that I've found to doing it is broken down to be about $5 a liter. And I typically get 5 to 6 liters per day. Lately it's been more closer to 6. So that's $25 or $30 a day, which, to be quite honest, people spend that much on food otherwise, I think. Sometimes people spend that much money on just one, takeout meal, in Uber Eats or Postmates. I know people that will do that once or twice a day without batting an eye. So, I'm spending that much a day, but that's pretty much it. I'm not really I'm not spending money on anything else, not coffee, not eating meals out or superfluous groceries or treats or things like that. So I found that, especially during the quarantine, to be pretty much my only expense, and for that reason I've been living within my budget or spending even less than I was otherwise. And if you juice things like watermelon, which you can get, a big watermelon for just a few dollars, and that can lead 4 or 5 liters of juice. You can do juice feasting pretty cheap if that's what you want to do, and I think that's certainly an option for folks. So I don't think that juice feasting is very expensive. I've been finding myself to saving money on it, and I know that I'm in a position where I can support myself, I don't rely on anyone else to feed me. I have the stability to be in an apartment, to invest in a juicer and have places to store my produce. So I know not everyone's in that position, but luckily I am, and I found that while it does require a bit of planning, juicing is not something that is prohibitively expensive, especially once you've invested in a good juicer. But so now you can get good juicers for $100, $150, I think. So I would say I think it's a good way to save money, especially when you're not going to be spending money. It's an investment towards your health as well. I mean, you're saving money down the road for large healthcare expenses, I think. Talking a bit about juicers, I have my Omega 8006 juicer, which is my workhorse. I recently bought a TriBest Shine juicer. Came in the mail about a week or 2 weeks ago, and at first I used it. I wasn't sure how I felt about it at first because I found it kept getting stuck. The sort of chutes that would eliminate the fibers kept getting clogged, and I wasn't sure why that was the case. I thought maybe this juicer isn't up to snuff, but I did a bit of research and found that this juicer, it's a stand-up juicer, but it's cold press. But I think with some of those stand-up juicers, you have to cut your produce not only vertically but horizontally as well. So you're cutting things into like 1 inch by 1 inch cubes or even smaller. And I did that this morning and actually was able to juice quite well. So that's been really nice to have that backup juicer. If the Omega 8006, if something were to happen to it, if a part was to break, or if the Tri-Best shine, it travels well. If I'm gonna I might travel for a day or two, sometimes this summer, at least in the next couple months, even though we're still on lockdown, that would be really nice to have in a pinch. So that's been a nice addition to my juicing regimen. But yeah, it's day 47. I'm just taking it a day at a time, and I'm feeling fantastic. I felt the urge to get outside whenever I can. I'm exploring the different bike trails in my city, and sometimes going off those trails into nature is just, you feel just that amazing communion with nature, being in the sun, being with the plants, and being with the landscape and with the earth. It's really felt awesome. And when I was younger, when I was raised on processed foods, people would talk about going out to nature and feeling one with nature, and I never really got that. I never, but as soon as I started doing the juicing, this time, but also a year ago when I first started doing it little by little, I really felt that like really strongly. And I'm feeling that now, and it feels fantastic. I mean, like I said, all my ailments have healed so far. I had some lingering arthritis in my hand, that's gone. I had a kind of a cyst that emerged on my right jawline in this winter. That's healed as well. Feeling lots of energy. So the juicing's it's been fantastic. I highly recommend it to everyone. And I will make some more videos later on now that it's nicer out and getting more outdoors. But happy to take questions, happy to interact with folks thinking about doing this in the comments section and elsewhere. But yeah, that's about it, and you'll hear more from me going forward.